Today we are going to do problem number 14, the longest Collatz sequence. Going to start by getting a snip of this like we always do, and copying it into the VI here. So the Collatz sequence is a set of positive integers that follows this rule. So whatever the number is, if it's even, you divide it by 2. If it's odd, you multiply it by 3 and add 1. And you just follow the sequence over and over again. And apparently it hasn't been proven yet, but all of these numbers always go to 1. So the question is, which starting number under 1 million produces the longest chain in the Collatz sequence? I've actually been looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be kind of fun. I think it's also pretty straightforward. So the first thing I want to do is create a while loop. And I'm going to use this iteration count as my number generator. It's going to start at 0 and it's going to go up from 1. And I'm going to do it 1,000,000 times. Actually, I'm going to make this a for loop since I already know I want to do this 1,000,000 times. And I'm going to take this number, use the quotient and remainder function, and I'm going to take whatever that number is and divide it by 2. And if the remainder of that is equal to 0, then it's an even number. And if it is even, I'm going to follow this formula. I'm going to divide it by 2. And if it is not even, then I'm going to take that number, I'm going to multiply it by 3, and I'm going to add 1. I'm actually just going to use the increment since it's a little bit cleaner. 3. I'm going to take this whole portion of the algorithm and put it into a while loop, and take this number and put it into a shift register. I want this always to be an integer, even though the divide could possibly give me a double. I know it's not going to, since I'm only going to do that when it's even. I'm only going to divide by 2 when it is even. And I'm going to do this over and over again until this number, until this number equals 1. Create constant 1. Then I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to change this so that the number goes into here, like that. And then I'm going to take this number and call that sequence length. So this right here should give me the sequence lengths for numbers between 0 and 1 million. Let me just let me save this real quick and make sure we capture it. 14 longest Collatz sequence. And make sure this is working roughly how I think it should. Okay, so I've been sitting here. If I run this, it gets stuck on this iteration. Whoops. Okay, so I've been sitting here, I've been stuck on this. Whenever I get to 113382, it gets stuck, and then I end up probing over here and I see these negative numbers, and it's because I realize that I'm getting an overflow. So what I need to do to I64, I need to change all of these numbers to the I64 format because, like I said, I'm getting an overflow. Representation I64, representation I64. Representation I64. Yeah, it was taking me, I could not figure out representation I64. I could not figure out why it wasn't working. I thought for sure that it should, but it wasn't. So, all right, let's try this again. Okay, we should make it all the way through. Okay. I really want to do this. I guess I do need to do it to 1 million. This is showing up wrong. 1 million. Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is just pass this number into a shift register, replace with shift register, and compare this greater. If this number is greater than the, I'm going to add a select here. If the current number is greater than the previous number, then use the current number. If it's not, then use the previous number. And we're going to pass this back into the shift register. And I'm going to change this to max, delete this here, and this should give us the maximum sequence length. Now, what it's also asking us is which number has the longest chain. So it's not enough to know how long the longest chain is. I need to know which number has the longest chain. So it is the one that has 523 chains in it. So I'm going to say, again, if this is true, I am going to take the current iteration number, tunnel mode last value, tunnel mode conditional. And if that is true, then I want the last value to be given here. Create indicator, largest chain value. I'll call it seed because I think that's kind of a cool number. Okay, and we'll run this again and see what number we get. 837,799. So if I go over here and I check my random, again, GitHub solution key, we see here 873,799 and 837,799. So this is how you find the longest Collatz chain for problem number 14 in LabVIEW. Hope you enjoyed.